Welcome back. I'm Benita Levine. Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, protests in Israel continue to make headlines, with thousands of people upset with a range of issues, including the financial hardships caused by the recent lockdown measures in the country. Now another protest is underway, but this one is taking place in New York. So for more on this story, we cross live to our senior U.S. correspondent, Mike Wagenheim, at the scene of today's protest action. Mike, always good to see you. There have been regular protests in this country here in Israel in recent weeks, but protesters taking a stand in New York over the situation in Israel is a new development. What can you tell us?
Well, I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I want to show you here for a minute as well, Benito. Step out of the way. This is Washington Square Park here in New York. Estimated a few hundred Israelis, Israeli Americans turning out for the protest here today against Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, against his handling of the coronavirus situation, against his handling of a number of government matters. Many saying that there is a need for change within the government. Many out here saying the government needs to go completely. So this is the scene out here today. One of a number of protests throughout America against Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government. Another took place in San Francisco just before Shabbat on Friday, and there are more planned for areas like Seattle, Boston, and more here in New York as well in the coming days and coming weeks. We spoke with the organizer of the protest out here in New York, along with a protester. They say doesn't matter to them. They're not living in Israel anymore. They are still trying to show solidarity with their Israeli friends and family back home and have a unified message to go along with it. Let's give it a listen.
So we may live here, but our heart is in Israel, and we see all of our brothers and sisters, the people of Israel, who are demonstrating to strengthen the democracy and against everything that is happening with COVID-19 and the way the government is handling it. And we want them to know that they have support from us over here. And it's important to support a strong and vital democracy in Israel. That's why we're doing it.
I think that the coronavirus is just the final step of, the final result of all the other failures that preceded that. And now he's naked, and everybody can see that he can't do anything really.